Okay, let's be honest here. You clicked on this video, you know about Epic. Everyone's listening to Epic. Banger. Love the TikToks. They're funny. I am the race car. Vroom, vroom, vroom. That did. That's a did. And over the course of like the past like 2 years, like 9 sagas have been coming out. And honestly, they're such a blast to listen to. I don't like I'm Not Sorry for Loving You. I just don't like it. I just don't like it. Like every song I just don't like it. It's not even that the vocals are bad. I don't like the lips, so I don't like the lips. Anyways, so while of course everyone has their opinions on which saga is the best and which songs are the best, now personally, I love the Wisdom Saga. It has some of my favorite songs. But as a saga, as like a whole package, I truly believe that the Underworld Saga is peak epic, peak music, peak story, peak everything. It just has everything that a single saga would need. But the worst part is there's only 3 songs. It's the shortest. But honestly, those 3 songs are such bangers that I'm honestly glad, because quality over quantity. I listen to this saga like 18 times a day. It's actually peak fiction. Anyways, I'm gonna start talking about the Underworld. So the beginning of The Horse and the Infant is kind of scuffed, but I'm gonna play the audio. But like basically it goes from a dun 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 dun. You know what I'm saying? You guys know what I'm saying, okay? Now the dun 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 dun, it's taken from that song, which is the beginning, and it's put here at the beginning of the Underworld. And since it's like a callback, because that's the first saga, and then this is the final saga, right? So the song starts with the dun 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 dun. Friends. But the difference between this one and The Horse and the Infant is that The Horse and the Infant is like a really like upbeat one. It's like, okay guys, we're gonna finish this now and we're gonna do it, right? But this one is like, okay, like we gotta get through this, because if not, we're just cooked, okay? Like Poseidon's after us, like gods hate us, everything, okay? Like we need to do it. It's like a very somber moment, right? Because there's like the crew got cooked, 600 men no more, and we're gonna go into the underworld. We're gonna see dead bodies, our dead friends. It's more somber, right? It's the sound is taken down a level. We then get a callback to Full Speed Ahead, right? Because that's what they're doing, full speed ahead. Their goal is to find the prophet, just like how their goal back in the Troy saga was to get back to Ithaca. Odysseus' dead comrades then ask, when will a man become a monster? Of course, that's a callback to I'm Just a Man, of Odysseus asking himself, when will a man become a monster, right? But then the question is, they're asking Odysseus, when will he become the monster? Or when will he not prioritize keeping his foes alive, but instead killing everyone to make sure him and his comrades get back home safely? That's the question they're asking. They then ask another question. Why would you let the Cyclops live when ruthlessness is mercy upon ourselves? Now that's a callback to the Ocean Saga as well, but it's also asking a question to Odysseus in his mind. When will he become the monster? Why did he let the Cyclops live? What good outcome came from that? We then get our answer. Odysseus says, I keep thinking of the infant from that night. Killing that infant destroyed him. He's been trying to appease his humanity by not being ruthless, by letting people live, by employing mercy upon this world. But the thing is, that doesn't work. Why? Because the infant is dead, along with his best friend Polites. Odysseus then sees Polites, who he tells him to still greet the world with open arms, which is ironic because what led to his death was greeting the world with open arms. They trusted the Winians. Now, they could have still trusted the Winians, but be smart. But I'm not gonna delve into that. That's kind of Odysseus. His brain was a little too slow in that logic of thinking. Like, oh, you kind of should have thought about all the sheep in the cave and why is there so many? Like before you started slaughtering them. I think that's a thing to think about, but it is what it is. But we then see that maybe what Polites is saying is not correct, because the next person we see is Odysseus' mom. And maybe, just maybe, if he had been ruthless, he could have made it home. He could have seen her again when she was alive. Odysseus then says that I took too long, giving a sense of urgency for the future. If he takes too long, what will happen to his son and wife who are currently still alive at this moment? If he takes too long, by the time he gets back, will they be gone? Will his reason for going home be in shambles? The song then ends with acknowledging once again that in the underworld, your past is always close behind. Because all the dead and the blood on Odysseus' hands are right there in front of him, with no way for him to escape, as he must find that prophet. No Longer You is just genuinely a masterpiece. It is my favorite song in the whole, just in all of Epic. It's such a good song. Now, this song, while the Underworld was about Odysseus' past, this is now about his future. And the first thing Tiresias tells him is that there is a future where he helps him get home, but that's not one that he knows. Now, that might sound confusing as all heck, and when I first listened to it, yeah, it hurt my brain, because in the end, he does make it home. That's at least, well, the Ithaca Saga didn't come out when I first heard the song, but you know, obviously, if they are following the Odyssey, which I have read, he should be making it home, right? So it doesn't make sense how he does come home, but it isn't him. But we have to listen to the end of the song. Now we got Tiresias telling Odysseus all the things he sees in his future. We have the entirety of the Thunder Saga, Song of Past Romance, Sacrifice of Man, Brother's Final Stand. They're all part of the Thunder Saga. But then we also get to the Vengeance Saga. I see you on the brink of death. I see you draw your final breath. I see a man who gets to make it home alive, but it's no longer you. The man that Tiresias could not help get home is the Odysseus now. The Odysseus who refuses to become the monster. But the Odysseus who makes it home is a man who stripped away all of his mercy and has now fully embraced being the monster. Odysseus takes the No Longer You line too literally, and so he can't see what lies ahead. Tiresias then explains the Ithaca Saga to Odysseus. It's something that flabbergasts Odysseus even more, because his palace being all red faces a man who have long believed he's dead, and a man with a trail of bodies. Odysseus does not see himself as the type of person that would have a trail of bodies, that would kill people, and that's why he can't see that the person that is no longer him is him, just not the person that he still is. Odysseus then asks who it is, and Tiresias gives him the answer. It is the man with a song of past romance. It is the man that sacrifices his men. It is the man who betrays his brothers, and then in turn they betray him, and they have their final stand. It is the man on the brink of death, and the man who draws his final breath. Tiresias gave Odysseus the answer, just not in a way he could understand. The song then ends with Tiresias telling Odysseus that it is no longer him. Now, to go back to the second part of the song a little bit, all of the chanting mentioned in the background is all times that Odysseus has been ruthless or he's put himself above everyone else. Siren song, Scylla throat, mutiny, lightning bolt, hurt Poseidon, kill all the suitors for love. These are all things that Odysseus does. He hurts people in these scenarios to get back home. That is his only goal, to see his son and wife again. It then ends like the way Odysseus does, with the Odysseus. Why? Because that's the last act of ruthlessness that Odysseus does before he can finally reunite with his son and wife properly again.
What if I'm the monster? What if I'm in the wrong? What if
I don't care what anyone says. Objectively speaking, Monster is just the best song. Okay, it's not my favorite, but it just objectively, it has to be just the best song. Anyways, let's start with the beginning. So like how when I was talking about the horse and the infant in the Underworld, how it has the dun 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 dun, and the dun 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 was put in the Underworld, the you know what I'm talking about is put in Monster. It's a way to conclude the opening saga, right? It's a connection point. Another thing to mention, the horse and the infant is a reflection of this whole saga. The horse and the infant has all undertones about the past, your wives and kids waiting back home for you, the present, we're in the war right now, and now the future. The son of Hector will become someone in the future that Odysseus cannot avoid, and he needs to deal with him right now. This song is taking place for the right now. The Underworld was of the past. No Longer You is of the future. The monster is right now. Odysseus needs to decide what he will do right now to secure a future. Now, monster is so jumbled up because there are so many different meanings to things. Odysseus asks, am I the monster? Now, he's not the monster in the sense that he's someone out to kill his crew and him, but is he the monster because he allows them to take down his crew and him? Is he the monster because he is allowing others to delay his trip back to Ithaca? Am I the monster that's been hiding all along? That has a double meaning. Odysseus has a monster hidden within himself. The monster that he became to kill Troy and the infant. The monster that he will later become to get back home. But another thing, he's asking, am I the monster hidden within this journey? Is my actions actually the monster that is getting us killed? Odysseus then goes through all of his past events. He's asking himself whether the monsters that he has encountered are justifying their actions, or are they thinking deeply about it? Are their actions of ruthlessness affecting their psyche? He asks, does the Cyclops think about the men he's killed, or does he think that the fact that he avenged his sheep is enough to justify the killing, which is something that Odysseus will learn when he avenges his dead comrades when he fights against Poseidon. He asks Circe and Poseidon the same question about their scenario. Are they scared of what they did? Are they feeling remorse for what they have to do, or do they do it knowing full well the consequences of what they're doing? Do they know that their actions will lead to this? And are they satisfied with that? Are they able to justify it? Then Odysseus asks himself the question, did he make the plan of the Trojan horse because he wanted to win and kill the Trojans unhonorably? Or did he do it to save more of the lives of the Greeks? Odysseus then remembers Poseidon's words, ruthlessness is mercy upon ourselves. Then he lists all of the people he lost throughout his journey to further convince himself that he is right in the prospect of wanting to become the monster, of needing to become the monster, because he needs to get home. He needs to get home to Penelope and Telemachus, and he says that he'll drop another infant to do it, showing his resolve, that he is truly willing to become the monster. But the one thing you need to think about, Odysseus says, if we must sail through. Now, ruthlessness is mercy upon ourselves, and we does not coincide. Now, technically speaking, the word can be used as in a group setting, but if the group that is with Odysseus, his crew, are the things that are going to keep him away from Penelope and Telemachus, then he has to discard them. Why? Because ruthlessness is mercy upon ourselves. He says he'll become the monster, but he wasn't willing to discard his crew until he was absolutely forced to. He did not willingly get rid of his crew in order to make it back home. And the song ends with Odysseus repeating Poseidon's words once again and claiming that he will become the monster. This saga is just so good, man. It's so good how like everything, like a lot of things call back to early sagas, and the sound beginnings in the underworld and monster relating back to the horse and the infant. Oh my goodness, it's perfect. And the way the horse and the infant actually relates to this whole saga in the terms of how we are being flashback to Penelope and Telemachus, what Odysseus had in the past and who he still has waiting for him, his current situation with the Trojan and the Trojan War, and the future dilemma of Hector's son who is out to get him. And it all culminates into this one saga where Odysseus is now reminiscing about his past and what he did in the underworld, the future events that will conspire to happen in No Longer You, and Monster, the current present situation he's in, and where he decides to become the monster, like how in Just a Man he decided to kill the infant. It's so good, man. It's such a good I'm rambling on, but I love this saga. I cannot. There's probably even more that I missed out on understanding and analyzing. If I looked into like Greek culture stuff back then, I'd probably get even more, but who knows. But next time I'll do an analysis like this. It might be a while because my friend wanted me to do the Ithaca saga, and that thing is long as balls and no shot. I'm gonna be sitting there listening to Odysseus and Would You Fall in Love with Me Again, like 5 minutes each, and I gotta look at every little detail and increment and, you know, relate it back to past sagas and stuff like that. It's gonna be a hassle, so it'll be a while before that happens. But yeah, I hope I hope you learned something maybe, or just enjoyed the video, or you want to watch Epic now. If you happen to not know what Epic is, that's insane, because how are you at the end of the video and you don't know what Epic is? What are you doing? Why did you watch the video? Thank you for watching the video if you did, but why did you do that? That doesn't make any logical sense. Okay, bye. Peace.